Hello all, today we are with the person in the very first attempt didn't clear the prelims. The second attempt went up to UPSC interview but still could not clear. And in the third attempt with a very good result, it is a very fabulous result of 110 rank. So that personality who came back from failure. Why? Because usually we become, when we fail, we will not raise, we will not bounce back. But she bounced back and she is with us. She is Nidhi Pai. Hello Nidhi Pai.
Hello sir.
How are you?
I'm fine sir, thank you.
So, there are a lot of questions
Yes, sir.
in the student community. Mainly getting 110 rank is really a fabulous rank. And that too, not clearing prelims for the first time.
Yes.
So my question is, the straight question, how you felt when you saw your name in the result sheet that you as 110 rank? What was your expectations and what was immediate feeling?
Sir, on the result day, we were all of us knew that the result would come on Tuesday. So we were all quite nervous. Not just me, the other friends who had given the interview. We were all quite nervous. The results came at around 1:30 or so, sir. The PDF had come on Telegram group. I checked the PDF. I typed my name. I saw it at 110 number. But I didn't believe it because during those times there are a lot of fake PDFs that revolve around the Telegram groups. So my mother was with me. She suddenly got very excited, but I asked her to wait for 10 minutes because I was not sure. And I checked on UPSC website, I didn't find any PDF. So I was waiting for like 5 minutes, but then slowly messages started coming in WhatsApp group. Even my friends who had given the interview, they started congratulating me. Then I said, okay, this is true. I have secured 110.
You have to believe it.
Yes, sir, I have to believe it. And it was the first reaction was relief, sir. To be really honest, like a lot of people have said that. Even Narundip Turishetty sir, when he had said that first time when he saw, more than happiness, it was relief. I could probably never relate to what he said, but this time I was very relieved, saying, okay, I have made it to the list. So. The number keeping aside, I was happy to see my name in the list.
Yes, the word which you used is very proper term. It is relief. Why? Because in civil services journey, after 3 attempts on 4 years of journey, we think at one point of time that let our name be in the list.
Yes, sir.
Rank तो जाए कहाँ भी, but अगर एक बार नाम तो रहे list में, so that gives a very great relief, and that relief as well as success also.
Yes.
So a lot of aspirants are questioning here in the online as well as in the offline here, the students who are sitting over here. So I will take some questions.
Sure.
The first question is, as you are from CBSE, whether NCERT books helped you? Reading NCERTs are really worth reading?
Definitely, sir. They are, I think, a very rich source of information which is available. Considering me that in our school we had a tradition of reading the textbooks. We were made to read the textbook, especially when we reached high school, 7th, 8th onwards. So I was kind of into the habit of reading textbooks. It was not new to me, and I enjoyed reading them, sir, honestly, especially social science. Somewhere it gives you a scope of imagining the creativity you get, the things of the kick of understanding the things on your own side. You are not forced to understand it through someone's perspective. You can understand things on your own. So definitely, sir, NCERTs I think builds a kind of foundation where you can kind of understand the information from your own perspective rather than seeing it through the lens of others. So it is important, sir.
NCERTs are important. Yes. So one of the aspirant questioned here. So when you didn't clear the first prelims, then how you bounced back?
First prelims, sir, I've been preparing for the exam since very seriously since 2019. But somewhere I started coaching in my first year of college, which is 2017. So I've been in touch with the exam. And sir, I would just because I failed, I would not lie here. But I went with complete preparation for prelims. I solved 60-70 test papers for prelims. I did previous year question papers. I did vision, ET 365, current affairs, the standard books which had to be done, everything, sir. But the one thing which was not right was my mindset during the exams. I was extremely nervous, very cautious of every question I was attempting, overthinking on all the basic, even the basic of quality questions I was overthinking. So by the end of those 2 hours, I did not see all the questions also. Economy is my strength area. I left 5 economy questions because I never looked at them throughout the 2 hours. The questions which I was weak in, I palmed some random questions. So I think my mindset during the first exam was not right, and that is why I didn't clear the first
So
questions.
that this exam is about a mental exam, or it's about how we do the hard work?
It's a mix of both, sir, because irrespective of how much hard work we do, somewhere if we are under a lot of pressure and we are not able to stand to that pressure, then that will affect, sir. It was evident for me in my first prelims at least.
So we have to be emotionally intelligent and emotionally strong.
Sure, sir.
Yes. BCom Commerce and Accounting. So why BCom Commerce and Accounting to Civil Services?
Sir, civil services was something which I decided when I was in my high school. So I knew that I had to do civil services. This has been my childhood dream. As far as commerce is concerned, sir, I was never interested in science. Science and technology has never been my area of interest since childhood. So engineering is cancelled out, medicine is cancelled out. I figured on to 2-3 professions which I like. I was interested in law, I was interested in journalism, and I was interested in civil services. When there came an option of what I should pick for graduation, I was suggested by my father and my sister, who is a chartered accountant, saying that we are not very aware of how the world of journalism works. And law again is a kind of course wherein you have to give 100% dedication. It's a beautiful course in itself. You can't simultaneously prepare for another exam when you do law. So it was my sister's suggestion saying that of course commerce also has to be given that kind of dedication. I'm not degrading it. But my sister is a chartered accountant. She said I can help you to a very large extent for your degree examinations and all. So that is the reason I took up, and it is also quite interesting for me, sir.
So I know about this, that your sister role is very heavy. What is the role of your sister? In your preparation as well as in your motivation or inspiration?
Both of us have taken up careers which are not easy, sir. Whether it is chartered accountancy or civil services, they are courses which require a dedication of its own, discipline, organization and all. So she was someone who always told me that we need to dream big. We cannot have small dreams. We have to look for careers which will give us like immense satisfaction in terms of everything. So she took on the path of chartered accountancy before I started my stint with civil services. So she is extremely organized and disciplined with her schedules, timetables and everything, much more than me, sir. So somewhere that healthy competition developed at home, where when I saw her following those timetables and all, it used to scare me a bit, saying, I'm not studying. How am I going to pass? There are people who study with so much dedication like her, so I'm going to lose on to that. So even I would go and study for my exam. So there a healthy competition developed at home. And even her journey is not easy, sir. She has also faced 1 or 2 failures in the entire CA course. So somewhere that fear of failure is something that she helped me overcome, and how to deal with that.
What is the role of family?
Family has been extremely important, sir. They have given me and both my parents. They have given me and my sister the option to fail. They have never told us that you can't fail or you have to make it. They said if you fail, it's okay. You want to become a chartered accountant, you want to become a civil servant, you have dreamt big, work towards it. It's absolutely okay if you fail. Even at the end of 6 attempts, if you don't make it, it is also fine. But if you want to try it, you try. We are proud of you for giving your 100% to an exam which is considered to be really tough. So I think that that cushioning of it's okay if you fail, that comfort, that is one strength in itself. So that support I think is very important.
There is a very big question. The civil services is pro-English medium. Regional language medium students or Telugu medium students or Hindi medium students somewhat in disadvantaged when compared to English. Is it so? That means we need to have a very good English, we need to have a very fluent English.
Sir, I am someone who has studied in the English medium school, sir, honestly, throughout my college, and I've been brought up in Hyderabad, the city. So I think I am not the right person to comment on whether it is difficult for another medium student. But I am assuming, sir, that the difficulty comes from availability of resources.
Material.
Yeah, material, because the material in other languages are not available very easily. But as long as the communication skills is concerned, I don't think it is to be an issue, sir, because two of my friends have given the interview in Telugu, the Telugu translator who's provided at the interview, and they've scored decently well in their interviews, sir. So I think that is not a struggle. Moreover, mains they are allowed to write in the regional language as well. So I don't think that is an issue, provided they are well resourced with the material in their language.
As Nidhi rightly said, the problem with regional papers or regional language is only availability of material. If not, everything is same with English as well as Telugu or Hindi. But there is some crunch. Resources are less with respect to Telugu medium, that is, or Hindi medium. Yes, anyone have any doubts, you can ask in the comment box in the live session here. And one more question, why you choose anthropology as optional? Why? Because this is a very crazy question. Most of the students want to know about this. Why? Because you are one of the top marks in India, 325 marks. Why anthropology?
Anthropology, sir, I had to choose an optional when I was in 2018 or 19, almost when I was in my third year. So I thought of a few optionals, the subjects which I like in the list of subjects. Of course, commerce and accountancy as a subject is available, but the syllabus of that subject is huge, so that was ruled out. There were other 3-4 subjects which I was interested in, sir, but somewhere I will not lie, sir, but marks is also a reason why I have chosen anthropology, because anthropology as a subject has been doing well for the past few years. Hyderabad has kind of become a center for anthropology optional. We have a lot of guidance here, material is available. Second, sir, it is not a science subject, it is not a humanities subject, it's a beautiful mix of both of them. I have not read tribal India anywhere in so much detail before in any of my school or college anywhere. So I found the subject to be extremely interesting. But at the same time, sir, marks also is one of the reasons I will not have.
So the first criteria for any optional is interest. So as per interest, she has taken anthropology as the optional. So Basanta Gowda, do you have any doubt? So one more big question is about last time we got a 226, now it's 325, a jump of quantum jump of 100 marks. So how you could achieve this 325 marks?
Yes.
It is a very big secret.
Sir, yes, last time my score was extremely less, 96 in paper 1 and 125 in paper 2. So yes, it was very less. I did a lot of mistakes as well. But when I wrote the exam this time, sir, I thought I'd score around 270, 280. I didn't expect in my wildest of dreams that I'll cross 300, so it came as a shock to me. So I would say, sir, yes, I have worked on the optional a lot this time, but somewhere I'll be lucky also, sir, with this optional. I did make a lot of changes, sir. For example, last year my reading was very limited in anthropology. My materials I had not read, so I added a few other sources like the Kaka committee report, PNAT for physical anthropology, your 2 books, sir, for a few areas, not everything. And also, sir, I joined the test series with you. So every test we would have a detailed material for each test, and I would pick up the important points, some case studies from there. I have picked up points from there. I have picked up points from your case studies materials, which you have given 500 case studies. I have picked up some case studies from there as well. That is one change, sir. Second, I didn't write test series last year, sir. I was scared of writing answers for anthropology. I didn't join a test series, very big mistake. So I joined it this time. So somewhere that has also improved. Third, sir, my way of reading anthropology was wrong, because
Very good. The way of reading anthropology is one big thing which you have to understand. Yes, please.
First, last year I read the entire syllabus and I read anthropological theories in the last. And that also I was not perfect because I was scared of that part of anthropological theories in paper 1. So I kind of ignored that topic itself, anthropological theories. But this time what I did was I read anthropological theories first in great detail. I have given about 2 weeks for only anthropological theories. Additional sources I have added to have like a proper clarity of what they are trying to say, and I tried to look at the entire syllabus of both the paper through the lens of these 10 schools of anthropological thought. So somewhere when I used these lens of anthropological theories to look at the whole syllabus, for every answer I could give the names of anthropologists. For example, so this names, there was a question of collaring through various interpretations of anthropological thoughts. So in that I have used all the 10 schools of thought to say, even though I have never read what they actually mean for Kulari, but that was kind of a guess, not guesser, but once you understand what the schools actually try to say, then you can interpret things, various things from that lens as well. So that is one major change I did for anthropology. Second, sir, my choice of questions in the actual exam. Choosing the questions. Last year, even now, sir, my preparation on prehistoric cultures is very weak.
It's archaeology.
Archaeology, the Paleolithic, Neolithic, especially European prehistoric cultures. I'm absolutely very weak. I have no material on that. Even now, I don't have any idea about that. Last year, there were 3 questions on European cultures, sir. I don't know why I selected them. I could have selected other questions. I don't know why I selected them. And I was in a rush to start the paper because there is always a pressure of completing the paper in 3 hours. Every paper in GS is lengthy, every optional paper is lengthy. So there's a rush that you have to start writing immediately when you pick the paper. So in that rush, I picked the wrong questions. And that was the blunder I did in last year's paper 1. So that was another thing. Third, sir, I've added anthropologist's name in every answer. Every answer of mine will have 1 or 2 anthropologist name for sure. That is one change I've done. And I have interlinked the concepts of every paper, of all the topics. I've interlinked the concepts. I somehow understood that the division of syllabus is for our understanding. But there is no division of the anthropology subject as such. So nobody has divided the subject. It is all one, paper 1, 2. The division in syllabus is for our comfort, for us to understand. So I removed that barrier of that division and I read it as an entire one whole subject without creating that boxes or reading them in silos.
Integrated.
Yes, sir, integrated. The entire paper 1 and paper 2. I have used paper 2 examples in paper 1, paper 1 examples in paper 2. I have never kept that as a barrier. Paper 1 anthropologists and paper 2. So wherever possible, I have linked entire both the papers, all the subtopics in that. So that is another change I did in these 2 items, and of course a test series.
So 3 points very important. Nidhi told proper clarity on what they say means anthropological thinkers. In anthropology, we have various thinkers like E.B. Taylor, James Fraser, etc., Malowski. So we need to have the clarity, first clarity of thought. What this person want to tell to us, what this person want to inform us. On that particular thought, we should have clarity. There is one sentence, one thing which you have to, it's a takeaway. Number 2, choosing of the questions. That you have to practice from the beginning stage itself. Which question I have to choose. Third, a way of reading. Very proper term that is. Way of reading. So everyone will start randomly. It's not randomly. Anthropological thought is the heart and soul of anthropology subject. So in anthropological thinkers, who are the thinkers, what they told, and we have to integrate with each and every topic of the anthropology. These are the 3 things. Please, everyone, please, these are the 3 things. If you want, you can note it down. And one more question is from Rosanna. Yes, Rosanna. Ma'am, how did you manage your time regarding optional as well as for prelims?
Optional and prelims. Sir, I think exclusively for prelims, we can start from February onwards of every year. But before that, I think we have a lot of time for optional ethics, essay. The general studies anyway is same for prelims and mains. So I think that is not a very big issue, sir. The issue comes with time management in the 3 months between prelims and mains. So I think that is the question we need to more think.
Yes. What is your interview experience, Vivek? How your interview went?
I've given.
I also have this question. Just moments before interview, 5 minutes they will call on the corridor. You will be walking.
Yes.
Then you will be knocking. How it was? How was the experience?
It is
morning or afternoon? Number?
Both the times morning, sir. Last year I was the first person in my board. This time I was the third person in my board. Last year.
Chaube sir.
Yes, sir. This time Chaube sir board. Last year was a different experience. This was a completely different experience, sir. In the first interview, anything you do for the first time, you don't know what is going to come. So everything is a surprise for you. More than fear or nervousness, you are more excited, sir, that you made it to the interview, that you're sitting in the UPSC one and all of that. So first interview was a good experience. I didn't read much on the board UPSC members. I didn't know what kind of a board they are. So I think that was a blessing in disguise. I did a good thing by doing that. So last year that was the experience. This time that I knew the experience of an interview, I was a bit nervous. Secondly, I was sitting in the hall and we were told that I am assigned to the RN Chaube sir board. Now sir, every board has got its own way of testing students. It would be wrong to say that one board is partial or something. But there is a certain kind of saying that he's a tough board in the student community. And being someone who's going to give the interview, I did research on the different boards and all. So that made me nervous. That was a mistake I did. I scored extremely, yes. I have scored extremely less this time. I scored only 151 in the interview this year. So that was a mistake I did, sir. It is wrong to assume because the board members were really cordial. The chairperson was really friendly. But somewhere that I had it in my mind that he's a tough board, I got really nervous. So that's I think somewhere reflected on my face, and that reflects in the score as well.
That means the lessons learned is we should not have any prejudices.
Yes, sir. I think we should just go irrespective of whichever board it is. Just the last question, we should answer that.
Yes. One more question. After 2021 attempt, how did ma'am, after 2021 attempt, how did ma'am restart her preparation for 2022 essay strategy?
Essay.
No, two questions.
Okay.
Same question.
Firstly,
This question is 2021 you went to interview, result came. So within 10 days you have to write prelims.
Yes.
So within the 10 days how you managed and cleared the prelims?
Yes, sir. My interview last year was on April 12th. Results came on May 30. Prelims was on June 5. So after my interview, I started preparing for prelims. I started preparing. Result came on May 30. I was expecting at least to be in the list. I think that is a common student's mindset. I didn't make it to the list. I cried for one day, sir. I was very disappointed. I was very sad. But we have to move on, so we can't help it. I think half of the people don't make it to the list. So again, next year onwards, I started solving prelims, previous year question papers. I gave because since I was preparing after my interview for the prelims, I went and gave prelims. And prelims, I'm not someone who's very strong with prelims. But by God's grace, I cleared the last result.
There is one question. Yes. Sai, louder please.
Madam, there is lot of material surrounding here and there, no, madam. There is lot of fear that I am going to miss something, I am going to miss some marks.
Yes.
What if there is some questions regarding this?
So this question is about lot of materials are there available in the market. So a fear of FOMO, missing out. So whether I should read all the materials or whether I have to limit my resources.
Sir, I think yes, that becomes a very important question. But somewhere some things are very basic, like newspaper is something you have to read every day. NCRTs is something you have to do. Other than that, basic books for every subject you have. For optional also, there is a standard few books which are recommended. I think these books, when you start doing, you will understand, you will have a clarity on whether you are getting subjects or not. And in order to guide you as to you're going in the right way or not, I think two things. One is syllabus of the mains papers, and two is previous year question papers. If you are able to answer previous year question papers with the books you are reading, then I think that is clear enough saying that you are going on the right track. But somewhere if you are not able to answer the questions, then there is some lacunae in your preparation, and I think you have to add sources. So you should use syllabus and the previous year question papers as your guide.
So two things are very important, as Nidhi rightly said. One is syllabus, other is previous year's question. Any questions? Louder. Louder.
Initially, the students are starting how to start the answer writing.
So the question is about, for a beginner, how to start answer writing, isn't it?
Sir, I don't believe that answer writing should be from day one, because if you don't have any information, what answers are we going to write? But few things when we are into 2 or 3 months of preparation, we can definitely start doing. Like for example, you can start writing essays. Essays, though we will not write expert essays, but I am assuming every one of us can write essay on any given topic, because they are not very difficult topics. So a few papers you can start. For example, you can start writing essays every week. Other than that, I would say when you start with a subject, for example, polity you have started, within 1 month of starting polity, say you have completed a few chapters up to fundamental rights. then you can look at prelims question paper on those topics. You should be able to solve that. As far as answer writing is concerned, you can look at previous year question papers. If you have questions from those topics, you can try solving them. So I think that is how you can slowly start it.
There is a question from Srinu. Madam, can you please elaborate on your answer structure? Means his question is about whether you have any predetermined answer structure or whether you are making answer structure then and there.
Both have to be considered, sir, because there are questions which requires us to make answers on the spot, because you do not know. There will be one or two questions where you have no idea of in mains. So I would say there is a standard structure which is introduction, body, conclusion. But I have always believed, sir, that there has to be an introduction which says that, which gives a basic understanding that you have a idea of the topic to the examiner. In the body, sir, one thing I am very specific about is that I have to address every part of the question, and if there is why and how, so I am going to write why and I am going to underline it, showing to the examiner that I have answered the demand of the question. I should make it evident and by underlining that I have answered the demand of the question. So that is something you have to do. All subparts of the question have to be answered, and then there is conclusion, saying it can be something like a way forward kind of a conclusion. And in the body, what is going to fetch us extra marks is committee recommendations, data from census or some other kind of data, or you have various reports of Nidhi Pai, you can put data from there, or if quality articles or some Supreme Court judgments, then these kind of things add a little more extra, I think, value to the answer.
See, this time CSAT question paper was very much as if I rightly put, UPSC is taking revenge for CSAT paper. So, on CSAT paper, how a beginner or a aspirant who is preparing for 2024 prelims, how we should plan from now?
So there are three broad divisions in CSAT paper. One is reading comprehension, one is aptitude, and then there is reasoning. I would say that you have to be comfortable in any two sections. Which two is your choice, but you have to be very comfortable. You can't be scared of any section, first of all. You can't go with the mindset saying I'm not going to touch questions of aptitude because I don't like that area. You should not be scared. Any two areas you should be comfortable with, you should not be scared with. And there are definitely easy questions from every section, and that you have to answer. But of course there is a requirement of practice, a lot of practice I would say, because if you look at this year's paper, it was quite difficult. So I think there is practice, there is no doubt in that.
If I add to it, earlier you used to practice from March season, but now you start from the beginning itself. A little time, weekly 4 hours or 5 hours, weekly 4 hours, 5 hours, we practice till December. Then January onwards increase the size of hours per CSAT. Then March onwards exclusive CSAT preparation. Why? Because CSAT now, lot of aspirants are there who are getting very good marks in GS but unable to clear it in CSAT. So please, the story is getting reversed. So you have to focus more on CSAT as well. And there is a question from Chakradhar. What are the chapters or paper to start for a beginner?
In optional or optional? I would say we should start with anthropological theories. I mean, if there are classes, if you are taking coaching from somewhere, I think we can follow the flow of the examiner, of the person who is teaching the subject. But if you are someone who is doing self-study, or after the coaching you are choosing to start studying, my suggestion would be to start with anthropological theories.
Yes, anthropological theories. Why? Because this anthropological theories only we have to put it in the rest of the syllabus.
Yes.
Yes. Srinu, madam, what is your take on recent GS papers, and what is your advice to aspirants looking at, you mean prelims or mains, Srinu? What should be the main strategy for anthropology along with general studies? Now, those who are writing, mains.
I would say any day, sir, we have to optional essay, ethics are papers which are going to create a lot of different game changer kind of. So these are the papers we have to give utmost importance to. Optional definitely requires us to put in a lot of time because we have to read all the subjects. Superficial knowledge on optional will not work. Like maybe it might work for mains, for the other GS papers, but anthropology requires that depth, sir. Or for that matter, any optional requires that depth. So optional will require time. Essay and ethics does not have much of reading, but you have to definitely sit down and attempt papers. More the number of papers you write for ethics and essay, I think more you are going to score. For GS, I think whatever we read for prelims definitely is there. Other than that, there are the syllabus clearly mentioned as to what topics can be asked. For example, GS3 paper has food processing, or paper 2 has so many topics on social issues and governance. So on each topic we need to start preparing. On each topic we can have data pointers. For example, paper GS2 has women as one topic. Poverty is there as one topic. So you have to have data on such issues. You have to have information. So I think that is how we can go about for this.
So, what is your take on recent GS paper prelims? And what is your advice by checking into the GS paper? Someone also asked me the same question. Prelims, GS and CSAT 2023. How should be the preparation for 2024 prelims and CSAT? GS and CSAT.
Sir, I'll be very honest. In all the 3 attempts, I have crossed. First attempt I didn't clear prelims, sir. But the other 2 attempts also I have cleared prelims with the borderline, sir. 2021 attempt 87.54 was the cutoff, and I had scored 87.54. So one wrong answer, and I was out of the list. Okay, so
Cutoff was 87.54, and
I was the cutoff basically.
You was the cutoff.
Yes, I was the cutoff 2021 year. So I am not good in prelims. It's something I categorically will accept, and I have failed it once. I have given this year prelims, and I found it extremely tough, like most of the candidates have found it. There are a lot of questions which I have put like guesswork, and some have worked, some have not worked. So it has been very difficult for me too. I am also waiting for the result like all of you. But I would say, sir, this paper should not be a benchmark based on how we should prepare for prelims. Because this time it was more of guesswork, sir, to be very honest. Yes. So I think just because 1 year paper is like this does not mean every year it is going to be like this. What is going to take us in the long term? Even if you end up, clearing prelims, you have to write mains. So what is going to help you in the long term is having your basics strong. Doing the same basic things of reading the newspaper, reading the NCRT, reading the basic books, revision of all the topics, practicing mock tests, previous year papers. That's what I have done. And I have given the prelims. Now prelims, I don't think I am the right person to guide anyone. So I can just say what I have done. And this is what I have done for prelims.
Padma is asking, current affairs GS, current affairs anthropology, what do you do?
For anthropology, sir, I am part of your Telegram group, and that is my source for anthropology current affairs. That is where I follow the option. Otherwise, if there are any articles on any tribal groups in the Hindu newspaper, I just note it down for reference. But for GS, sir, I have always followed vision material. Of course, Hindu newspaper is something that I study daily. That is, there is no doubt that we have to study a newspaper. Other than that,
there is a question that whether they have to make notes on daily basis, whether note making is an important thing for current affairs preparation.
sir, I would say not just for current affairs, but whenever you sit down to make notes for anything, the first question that has to come to your mind is, will I be able to revise this again? Will I see the face of this notes again? I have also done that a lot where I have made notes, but at the end of the day, when you have few days, will you be able to come back to that notes? Even if you make 1-page notes of everyday newspaper, by the end of 1 year you will have 365 pages. So can you revise those notes is the question. If the answer is yes, go ahead, make your notes. If the answer is no, I don't think you should make the notes because there is no use. You are just putting in effort and it will not fetch you any result.
So it's not only about making notes, we should also revise it.
Yeah, yes sir. I have not made notes ever for newspapers. I have always relied on vision sources. I believe wherever there are shortcuts, please use it.
So as a beginner, anyone who is preparing for civil services, for the first 3-4 months, if you make notes for 3 months, beginner, so you will get the practice. After 4 months, you can depend upon any other ready-made GS current affairs material. But as a 3-4 months, it will be a practice so that you will understand the current affairs because you are writing. Writing is a very big thing. It's equal to 100 times reading. So in that way, 3-4 months you can do note making. After that, you can depend upon any other source. Yes. Any doubts? Anyone? Any more doubts?
When you mentioned you failed prelims in the first attempt, and now that you failed your prelims in the first attempt, there is obvious pressure in the second attempt prelims. So you started preparing for prelims more. Now that you have cleared prelims in the second attempt, there is this transit. There is this period between prelims and mains. The transition between prelims and mains, you have to, where in that phase you have to memorize the facts. Now that you are in the mains period, how is the transaction between games and the games?
There can't be an immediate, transition from prelims preparation to mains, because you have to have prepared at least your optional some bit of ethics, and maybe like a 1 or 2 topics you might not have prepared for mains, but you should have had a sufficient amount of preparation done for mains before you give your prelims. So you can't jump directly into mains, so that has to be done. But once you clear prelims, when you automatically start writing full length tests of optional of GS, then automatically you will come into that mode, considering you have already made your notes for mains related topics. So that transition is not very difficult.
There is something which is like we have to make flow charts. Generally, flow charts, block diagrams. Is it really worth? Did you use it?
I've used a mix of flow charts and the normal writing, so but I have used flow charts and all. There are questions where this time in polity there was a IR question differentiating between two international organizations. I don't remember which organization, but that question had 5 subpoints. So if I have to answer 5 subpoints, I cannot take the liberty of taking up the space because we have limited space. So these kind of questions, I definitely use the method of flowcharts because I can write shorter sentences and I will be able to address all the 5 parts of a question. Moreover, sir, I always believe that it is important for me to make the job of the person who's correcting the paper easier. So I do use flowcharts, but not for every answer. For a few answers here and there, I do use flowcharts.
And one more big question is there, that answer should be in point wise or paragraph wise?
I prefer point wise.
Anthropology also.
Yes, sir.
Rahul Shetty, hello madam. It is our pleasure to listen to such honest and progressive thoughts from you. Madam, how to plan during the 3 months between prelims and mains?
So I think we have to, how I do it is, first 1.5 months I give it to optional, essay, ethics and GS1. Because there is not much scope for current affairs. In GS1 it is more of static, history, geography and all of that. Anthropology, of course, we can keep adding in current affairs, but most of them is like basics, having our basics strong. And then essay and ethics again, current affairs that we keep adding on. But first 1.5 to 2 months I focus on these 5 papers. And by the end of these 2 months, we already have this vision MAIS 365, sir. I read MAIS 365 for mains. So I read that in the last 1 month and I take up 2 papers, which is GS2 and GS3 in the last one. That is how I divide it.
Yes. So mainly you have to, as earlier also mainly told that 3 papers are very important: essay, ethics and optional, any option. So you have to give priority to these 3 papers. Anyhow, GS, as she rightly told, in prelims anyhow you are studying, so same revision you have to do very quickly by taking some ready-made material. Yes, Gaurav Patel, how to score 300 plus in anthropology? This is repeatedly Gaurav is asking. Gaurav, you will compulsory give 300 plus this time. Yes.
300 plus how I scored, I also don't know, sir. I think I have been little lucky with the optional. I was sure I will cross 275 this time because I have done much better than last time. So I was sure of 275, 280 was what I was expecting. Best case scenario, if I am very lucky, I get 300. I thought 325 came out of the box. So I would say, sir, that if I have worked very hard on anthropology in the last 3 months, to an extent that I was a bit scared that I am going to lose marks in GS this time, that I am ignoring GS. But somewhere that has paid off, so with 325 marks. I would say every part of the syllabus has to be read, because if you look at the 10 markers in anthropology, it is coming from everywhere now, and you can't even skip those 10 markers. So every topic of the optional has to be studied, even if it is that lesson of cell. Cell is one of the topics in CS. Nobody studies that, but I have notes on that. So I would say every topic of anthropology has to be studied. Do make your notes on all the topics. Write weekly tests. Be very consistent and very honest with giving the tests. Sir, I have been associated with you. I have been very disciplined and consistent with all the tests I have given.
In this moment, I will tell you one example. how can we look at your answer copies, Rakesh? For you, this answer. In the test series, there were 14 tests. In the third floor, there is our test center. In the test center, couple of tests I remember because I was noticing. Power was not there 2 times. Power was not there. Only she was sitting and she was writing test rigorously for 3 hours. Once I went here, power is there. No, later you can submit. Let me complete. That is called as dedication. That is called as commitment. Because fan was not there, AC was not working for the 2 tests. Some problem was a technical problem, but still she know that for what purpose she came to the academy or the test center, for what purpose she came. So in that way she worked, in that way she was committed, because of which she scored 325 marks. And regarding answer copies, I asked Nidhi, so she gave the answer copies. We will be scanning it and we will be sending you, so that you can follow it. And again the same question, Bhaskar, what is source for case studies in Andhra?
Case studies, sir, whatever I've read, my sources, which is my base source is brain tree material. Karthik sir's material is my basic source from where I prepared. From there, whatever case studies I could get, I have taken. Other than that, wherever I've added from your material or from some material online, like I've read Nidhi Pai sir's book on Indian Anthropology and Tribal Anthropology. Otherwise, daily newspaper also you'll have a lot of tribal examples. These kind of I keep making additions.
You have to make notes on those articles on tribals which are coming out, and you have to integrate. In paper 1, you have to use examples of tribals, and in paper 2, you have to use the anthropological thinkers' names in paper 2. In that way, as she told earlier, you have to integrate both. And one more very good point she told, it is we should not categorize. Means once we have to categorize it, we have to finish the syllabus, then we have to mix up. In that way, we have to do. Any more questions?
Ma'am, first of all, congratulations. Thank you. Ma'am, my question is, if in your previous 2 attempts, you might have committed errors. If not many, at least a few, I guess. So if you were to meet your younger self, what are the suggestions you would give to yourself regarding these errors?
So the question is about, the young lady is asking over here, congratulations she told, and then she is continuing that for younger generation, what type of suggestions you are going to give for the newer ones?
Sir, if I can exactly ask a question, she said what suggestion I would give to my younger self. This might not apply to everyone, but this is only for my individual self, I tell. I joined coaching when I was in first year of my college, sir. Evening I would go for coaching after college. But somewhere I felt that the initial energy which you will have for the preparation, that will slowly start draining within 2 or 3 years. So when I started preparation when I was in first year of college, I was very excited, full of energy. By the time I came to my third year of college, when I was actually after the exam and I am supposed to write my first attempt, I was not very high on energy, the kind of excitement which I had in first year of college. Though I am sure, sir, my early preparation has benefited me in the preparation, but I would still say don't start very early. Don't start that early. I think you should also enjoy your college life also. That is also not going to return. So you can start in the last year of your college, or you can start immediately after your college. If you do serious preparation, it will take 1.5 year maximum. If you put full dedication. Even though I started in college, I cleared it in my third attempt. I didn't clear it in my first attempt. So I would say don't start very early. It will drain your energy. If you want to start early, then I think third year of preparation is what I would have chosen, sir. The suggestion.
Is it fine? Essay strategy, 113 marks. 116 essay marks. So Vedapranita is asking how to prepare for essay. What should be the essay strategy?
Essays, the only strategy is practice. We should write as many essays as possible and get it corrected from a mentor, whoever you follow. That is one thing you can do. Firstly, initially, if you have no idea of how to write an essay, then you can you have a lot of institutes which upload toppers answer sheets on their websites. So you can, on any given day, you can find the toppers essay copies on the website. Read 4-5 copies, like spend a few days, read how they are writing essays. Everyone has got a different style of writing an essay. See what are the different styles, and then I think you should start writing your own essays, get it corrected by your mentors, and I think that is going to go. There is no one way of writing an essay. As long as you can justify why you are giving an opinion, or you can justify your stand on that particular essay, then I think you will definitely get marks.
As she told, there is no one best way. You have to explore the ways. There is no one fixed way. Number one. And number two, see, we have to check the topper's copy or topper's notes. But we should not depend on it. Why? Because the topper will make the notes for the topper's understanding. So you have to learn, you have to analyze it. Oh, how she made, how he made. So we have to learn the techniques and you have to make your own notes. In that way you have to make your notes, or in that way you have to see the answer copy. And how to choose from a socio-cultural anthropology question and physical anthropology question, which is the best one? Asked by PW.
Sir, I think it's a myth when we say that physical anthropology fetches more marks or one particular area fetches more marks. I think you should find your strength. Whichever questions you can do your best, pick that and write the answers. That's it. Because these days it is a mix of socio-cultural and physical, sir. No question is completely physical anthropology and socio-cultural. So I think you should find out what best you can write in any answer, and you should pick up those questions.
Any more doubts?
How to deal with the pressure from family, relatives and friends. You are sitting idly at home preparing for UPSC and friends are going for employment or relatives are suggesting other options. How to deal with that pressure?
The question is about how to deal with peer pressure. Everyone are enjoying, everyone are going for cinemas, etc. So you are studying 12, 13 hours. So that is the question. How you did?
See, if you really want to become a civil servant, if you are really passionate of clearing the exam, that movies, all of that will not become a distraction. You will automatically come back. Again, going for one movie someday is not a problem. You don't have to be like, completely immersed for 24/7 into the exam. Take it like any other exam. Give 7 or 8 hours on a daily basis consistently, but you can definitely take one day off a week, go out with your friends, go watch movies and do whatever you want to do. But as far as the relatives pressure is there, the job pressure is there, see, your conscience will know whether you are a serious aspirant, you are giving it your serious effort or not. So I think you have to answer it yourself. If you are genuinely serious about your preparation and you are giving your 100% effort, then you don't have to be answerable to any of these people. If I think the biggest support you require of is your parents, and if you have that support from your parents, then everyone else is on the other side, and you can just sideline all of them. If there are negative people in your life, then please try to keep them as far as possible. I think as long as your parents' support is there with you, then that everything is going to stay fine.
In civil services preparation, first we have to keep the negative people away. First thing what you have to do is who are negative people, you have to throw them out from the life. And one more thing I will add. So you have to give reward to yourself. Like Monday to Saturday, you have to keep a target, small target. If you complete it, Sunday you have to write the test, and after Sunday's test you have to go your own, you have to enjoy, you have to go cinema hall, etc. In that way, if you reward yourself, that satisfaction will be there. Again, you can start afresh from Monday morning. How many revisions did you do in 5 days between ethics paper and Andhra paper? 5 days, the gap.
I wrote one test for both the papers, sir. Previous year question paper I picked up, which year I don't remember, but I wrote one test. But I did 2 revisions.
The 5 days.
Yeah, only the main topics, whichever is important. Like we are sure that there will be 2 questions from anthropological theories, either 10 mark, 20 or 50. So there are a few areas where questions will definitely come. These are the areas I prepared for.
My personal question, whether we have to make any summary notes. These summary notes will help us.
I didn't make any separate summary notes, sir, but in my main notes I have highlighted important points. So if I have to revise the entire notes, I am just going to read the highlighted points on my notes.
Yes, Vedakam, it will be from June 12th. Any more questions?
When you almost started in 2017, now it is 2022.
I will correct it. 2017 she was doing her graduation and she started, classes started, but her serious preparation started from 3rd year.
The thought of giving civil service. So there is a lot of energy to it. So there will be some days you don't feel that you are not going. I don't think it happened with me.
Yes.
I don't think it happened with me. How you stayed motivation for all these things?
It definitely happened with me. There have been days where I'm like, I remember when I used to come here for coaching general studies on the Ashok Nagar main road in Hyderabad. And I used to walk back, sir, because I felt like I'm just sitting the entire day. I need some exercise. So I used to walk back to my house. And when you look at the people around in Ashok Nagar, everyone is people in 21 to 30 years age gap with a bag. So everyone is literally an aspirant in the entire Ashok Nagar main road. So and that is very scary. So I used to think Hyderabad, there are so many people, just assuming how many people will be all India level. But I think you should cut away these things. You should just focus on your own preparation. Stop thinking about the numbers. See, I'll tell you. Prelims, no, as long as you're scoring 100 in your prelims paper, you're safe. Why should you think of how many else people are writing? Your goal in Seaside is to cross 66. You practice for a score of about 70 or 80 or 90. Your job is done. For prelims, your score should be around 100 to be absolutely safe. Practice in such a way that you will get 100 above. So you don't have to think about how many people are there or you get demotivated. If you are able to be better than yourself the day you were one day before, I think that is where you are going to keep motivating, pushing yourself that you will definitely make it one. I think that is the biggest motivation.
Yes, every aspirant will face this. Yes, everyone had come across this. So we have to sustain why we started. Why we started. And the reason behind it itself is a very big motivation. Why we started. Yes. Any more questions, please? But still, finally, I have a very big question. That 100 marks jump, how it was possible, 226 to 325? If you reveal that secret, for me also, I can also go like this weekend over. So I can tell to my students also, or you can directly tell. So what we have to do to get that 325?
325 I don't know, sir, but I'll tell you what I did. When the final result of last year was announced on June 30, next evening only we got the mark sheet. And I saw that my score was extremely less. But then immediately after 5 days we had prelims. After writing prelims, again I was in borderline, sir. I didn't know whether I'll clear prelims or not. But we'll have a gap of 10-15 days between the results of prelims and prelims result to come. So these 10 days, sir, the only thing I have done is to read the answer sheets of toppers of anthropology. 10 days. Just the PDF of all the toppers, sir. Analyzing. Like Lakshmi N ma'am from Karnataka, she had scored 345, I think. There is Sachin Gupta, sir. There is Akshat Jain, sir. They have scored exceptionally well in optional. And these papers, these people's answer sheets are available online. So 10 days I have done only this, sir. I wanted to see what is their style of writing. I could gauge some points from all of these people, saying Lakshmi ma'am would always have 2-3 anthropologists' name in her papers, answers. Sachin sir had a very crisp understanding of topics of every subject. So he will always interlink topics. Anthropological theory style of writing, his answers is very beautiful. The way he links all the thinkers. If diffusionism, there are 3 schools, he will link all the 3 schools. His style of writing is very beautiful. So there are people who will use half page to explain a case study. Few toppers. So these 10 days I have just seen what these toppers have done. So that is one thing I did, sir. Other than that, I joined the test series and I was very consistent with my tests. The test series are designed in a way so that we read one topic every day and we write 2 answers on each topic every day. I have followed that very religiously, sir. Out of the total 90 or 100 days, I think I am sure of 50 to 60 days I have written daily answers. Every day I would read that topic, and I would not read it only from my notes. I would read it, I would add extra material. If anything is available on the internet. On each topic I would read that nicely, and I would not see the questions in the morning, sir, whichever you send it in the morning. I will never see it till the time I write. I will see the questions and I will immediately start writing because I don't want to prepare for those questions before itself.
See, this is a huge exercise. Practically, if you put it, it's a huge exercise. Every day, 60 days also very huge. Because only time period is 90 days, morning question paper, intentionally not opening at 6 o'clock. It's an exercise. It's a consistent exercise. So these all resulted in the form of 325 marks. So we have to appreciate her, the rank. All the toppers get the ranks mainly because of their consistency. The only mantra for the success, from my experience also, the people who catch it very consistently, they will get the success. Appropriately, properly, she used the test series, writing answers, making the notes, reading it. See, have you heard it? In between 5 days, again she wrote one test, previous year question. Generally, what a common student will think, I have to do revision, first I will read. But exam is not about reading, exam is about writing. So she was focusing on writing, she was focusing on writing.
And one more thing, sir, we have usually seen when we write test series of anything, I have seen people who sit after 3 hours also, sir. I have seen people take 3 hours 20 minutes to write, to complete one test. I think we should never do that. In fact, I would say you should complete the paper in 2 hours 55 minutes because the person, the examiner is going to come, is going to take your sign. So these formalities are going to be there and it will take 1 or 2 minutes of your time. Somewhere if the examiner gives paper 2 minutes late, there are people who will give 2 minutes early, some people will give 2 minutes late.
I heard somewhere, no, we were talking last.
Yes, sir.
For you only.
Yes, sir, me only, sir.
They took 5 minutes.
5 minutes late, they gave the paper wrong set, then again changed it. So lot of chaos.
Again pressure.
Yes, sir. So prepare in such a way that 2 or 55 minutes you write the test. In the institute, no one is going to come and take your papers. Even if you sit for 4 hours, they let you sit and write. But you should maintain the time limit for yourself. There have been times where I have left 1-2 questions in the test, sir. Because I used to get up at 2 hours 55 minutes. I used to not extend that time. Even for GSs, that is something I very strictly follow because completing the paper is as important as writing good content because you have to complete all the papers. You can't lose marks.
And one more thing I want to add, because of this online culture, everyone are writing exams in your homes. I strongly recommend, weekly tests, go to the test center, wherever it is, go to the test center, sit there, sit with your friends, sit with your co-competitors and write. You should have that experience, that atmosphere. When that atmosphere is there, you will be habituated. So at least for exams, you have to come to the test center, wherever it is. Did you use your topper copies for evaluation? As Nidhi already told, she analyzed it, she understood it, and she made her own notes on that. Sinuguppi? But my addition, you have to make your own notes. See, it might be your teacher notes also, it might be your topper notes also. You have to analyze it, you have to get the points. We have to accumulate the points and we have to make our own notes. Why? Because the notes which is made by us will be understandable to us. This will bring us the results. So I strongly recommend, mainly for the optional papers, you have to make your own notes. Okay. So because of, in spite of your busy schedule, you came here. Thank you very much. Any more questions or shall we? Yes, louder please.
Sir, do you want to write notes for NCERT or is it necessary for NCERT to write notes?
Her question is about making notes on NCERT as well.
For geography, I have made. Other than that, no other subject I have made notes. Only for geography.
Why geography? Because 11th class and 12th class geography is very important. If you read that properly also, geography is sufficient. That is the reason she made it. Okay. Online people, thank you very much. Or any questions? If no questions, then thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
If you want any notes, you can.
Sure.